Hello everyone and welcome to Behind the Gate, and happy Valentine's Day. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these, hasn't it? For those of you who don't know, this is a type of video where I look at the behind the scenes of the Stargate universe to try and explain why some things are the way they are. In my last Valentine's Day video, I did my Daniel Jackson's love interest video, in which I went over Daniel's various love interests throughout the franchise. However, according to the comments, I missed a few. Reese, who personally I always saw her relationship with Daniel as more a father or big brother relationship, not in that way. There was a guy in the Morbius episodes who liked Daniel.
Hello, my name is Carlos. You make me so hot.
I believe in miracles.
Okay.
But the biggest miss was the Tok'ra Anise.
Yep, that looks like trouble to me.
Just to be clear on something, Freya is the host and her symbiote is Anise. And weirdly enough, they like two different people. Freya likes O'Neill and Anise likes Daniel. And now I live in constant fear of the day in which I will come across the fanfiction that has the three of them, or four of them, enjoying evening together. Don't blame me, this is just how the internet works. Getting back on topic, this video isn't really going to go into her lore, but when I missed her, I decided to look her up, and I learned some very interesting things about her creation. As the title says, she was meant to be the 7 of 9 of the Stargate franchise, but what does that mean? Well, I don't think it's a secret that 7 of 9 is visually appealing to observe. And the president of MGM Television had requested a sexy female alien for SG-1. This was meant to compete with the ratings climb Star Trek Voyager had after they introduced 7 of 9 a few years earlier. So Anise was introduced and appeared in 2 other episodes for season 4. And they were all back-to-back, episodes 3 to 5. It's kind of weird all her appearances were like this. And outside of one reference in a later episode, we never heard of her again for the rest of the series, or ever really, unless we want to go into the books, but let's set those aside for today. After reviewing the ratings, it was determined the series was performing fine, and Anise was scrapped. Yeah, they introduced a character to be a sexy alien female, and when they found out they didn't need her, they got rid of her.
Be gone, fuck!
Oh, and you wonder what the real kicker is? According to fandom, Anise's actress, Vanessa Angel, auditioned for the role of 7 of 9. Yeah, she tried to be 7 of 9, didn't get the role, got a role that was meant to copy the success of the role she didn't get, and then was let go because it didn't meet the same success as the one it was copying. And what sucks is that from what I can tell, none of this was the actress's fault. Joseph Malazzi had very positive things to say about her acting. Now, why didn't Anise take off like 7 of 9 did? Well, I can't say for certain, but I theorize it comes down to 3 things. First, screen time. When 7 of 9 joined the crew of Voyager, she was made a main cast member, appearing or having some kind of role in every episode after her introduction. In contrast with Anise, who, like I said, after her introduction in the episode Upgrades, appears in the next 2 episodes, and then never again. If they really want her to stick around, she definitely should have been given more screen time to flesh out her character more, or maybe have her appearances be spaced out over the season and not back to back. Personally, I think they should have changed her role from a scientist and archaeologist to the Tok'ra's official scientific advisor to the SGC. When 7 of 9 joined the crew of Voyager, she had to interact with the rest of the crew because the show took place on the ship and she was kind of stuck there. The issue with Anise is that because she's a Tok'ra scientist who lives with the Tok'ra, you have to write up a reason for her to be at the SGC or for SG-1 to go to the Tok'ra. But if she's made scientific advisor to the SGC, suddenly she has a reason to be at the SGC, interacting with the other characters. She'd basically be put on the B cast of characters like Janet or Walter. You see them around and they help when they are needed, but if you don't see them for an episode, you can assume that they are somewhere on the base doing something. I know some might point to Jonas as a good example of what they should have done, but keep in mind, Jonas wouldn't be introduced until the next season, and even then, Jonas's situation is a lot more complicated than just adding a new character. So I'll give them a pass in that regard. Some might also point to Vala as an example of being given a short introduction and then given a bigger role later, which is true in Vala's case, but for every Vala, there's an Erishbach. And Vala had something Anise didn't, which I will cover in story and character potential. Vala was introduced as a sexy Tomb Raider-like character who lies to make a profit, but ultimately has a good heart. There's plenty of storylines and character development to work with for a character like that, and it helped that she was paired with Daniel in her introduction, who is her exact opposite. There's plenty of fun ways to write these two characters working off each other, and Vala on her own has plenty of storytelling possibilities, especially when we learn she used to be a host of a Ghoul. Quickly hopping over to 7 of 9, since she is the direct comparison here, she has this in droves. The mere idea of a Borg drone who is cut off from the collective and has to learn to integrate herself onto a ship of individuals, learning how to be an individual again, a character like this is dripping with storytelling possibilities, and is begging to be given character development. And the writers of Voyager did make use of this. Say whatever you want about Voyager in the writing department, or how 7 of 9 may have been used as a sex icon, 7's journey into learning what it means to be an individual, of being part of a human collective, is one of the best aspects of Voyager, second only to the Doctor's own journey in my opinion. But with Anise, well, there's not really a lot of story potential, at least not as much as Vala or 7. Anise is a Tok'ra scientist and archaeologist who may be slightly amoral. It's not that there's no storytelling potential with a character like this, I just don't think they handled it well. I think part of the problem is that they didn't really commit to it. It always feels like they try and give her a really good out for her actions and don't let her do anything too bad. Like in her introduction, Hammond accuses her and the Tok'ra of knowing what the armbands were doing to SG-1 and that they wanted it to happen to get a team of super soldiers that could take down a shipyard. But they never really confirm whether or not she knew, or even if this accusation was true. They really could have gone more into this character willing to do amoral things because the ends justify the means, or the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. I think we really need a moment where she bluntly and unapologetically says, I know what I did wasn't morally okay, but it was necessary. In fact, they do give her a line like that.
We are fighting a war for our very existence. I make no apologies for the means.
But it doesn't really hit as hard as it could have. Again, it's because they give her a good out. She didn't know Tanith was going to be a Goa'uld spy who killed Shanrock, and the decision to keep him alive is more a group decision among the Tok'ra rather than being solely hers. And even if she does agree with it, the thing is she is right. The Goa'uld control a galaxy-spanning empire, and so one needs to use every advantage they have to fight them. So getting a spy they can feed misinformation to is the objectively right move, even if he murdered someone right at the start. And again, they did know he was going to be a spy. If the Tok'ra did know he was a spy from the start, then maybe this could have worked better. But like I said, it gives them and Anise a good out. And in her final appearance, they could have had her accuse people of being brainwashed assassins, but she was very calm and showed great concern for the people who her machine registered as being brainwashed. Granted, I prefer this over some crazy off-the-walls witch hunter, but kind of feels like a missed opportunity for the whole amoral thing. We also need to keep in mind we are talking about two people here. I've been talking about Anise, but there's also Freya the host. Personality-wise, Anise is supposed to be more logical and cold, while Freya is supposed to be more emotional and warm, but that doesn't always show. So there's this scene in her final episode where she confesses to O'Neill, and well, listen to her dialogue here.
I originally came from a planet where the people were not afraid to show their affection for someone. When we wanted to Loma Shem...
Excuse me?
Now, doesn't she say it very matter-of-fact-like, almost logical in a way? It actually sounds like something Seven might say, if I'm being honest.
Obviously, you've suggested a visit to the holodeck in the hopes of creating a romantic mood. Are you in love with me, Ensign?
Well, no.
Then you wish to copulate.
It's very hard for an actor to play two different characters in one body, and I just don't think this aspect was handled well. Which is probably why we don't see the Tok'ra a lot.
You know, this whole talking to two people in one body thing really sucks.
And finally, we get to my final point. I think Seven is just sexier. This is definitely going to be the weirdest topic I'm ever going to cover in any of my videos. But the whole point of the creation of this character was to make a sexy female alien. And I think they failed in this. Now, before we start, I want to be clear on some things. First, I am not saying that Jeri Ryan is prettier than Vanessa Angel. Second, I am not attempting to objectify these women. We need to remember that behind these characters are real people with real feelings. On the slim chance that Jeri or Vanessa sees this video, well, first, hi. And second, please know I mean no disrespect. I am not saying that Jeri got the role of 7 of 9 because she's prettier, and I am not saying Vanessa got booed from SG-1 because she wasn't pretty enough. What I am about to talk about has nothing to do with actual physical attractiveness and everything to do with
Presentation!
Let's play a quick game here. I'm going to show you the outfits worn by these two actresses during their times in each role, and tell me if you can see it. Here's 1, now 2, and finally 3. If you haven't seen it yet, simply put, Anise's outfits are not sexy. Now, I will grant this is up to personal preference, but many people find catsuits, well, sexy. And I think it has to do with their contradictory nature. Usually the idea is the less clothing you wear, the sexier you are. However, catsuits cover your whole body, but because they are skin tight, they highlight the curves of the body that are normally covered by clothing, giving you a general idea of what a person would look like unclothed, but covering enough that your mind can still fill in the details. I think people find this exciting, and because it's a type of clothing that most people associate with a bedroom, or at least not one worn in public, it makes 7 of 9 stand out, especially since she's the only one who wears one. In comparison, Anise's outfits don't scream sexy beyond articles of female clothing that have a short skirt or show some skin. They just seem like standard outfits that could be worn by anyone in this universe. Heck, in the episode Crossroads, I think Sean Rock is wearing a sexier outfit than Anise is. Seven's outfits were basically designed to make her sexy, with things like a corset to give her an hourglass-like figure, or breast mounds, which were added to keep her nipples from showing, which is gonna get really funny here in a second. But first, I should probably mention that Jeri does not miss this outfit. It infamously required 20 minutes for her to use the bathroom because of how long it took to get out of the outfit. And from what I understand, it was not comfortable, which is why they stopped using the silver one and moved to the reddish brown and blue ones later. Again, I don't want to come across as oogling women in this video, so I think we should take a second and recognize that they may have made a sexy outfit in Voyager, but it clearly was at a certain cost. One, Stargate was unwilling to pay, so good for them, but the sad truth is as a result, Anise's outfits don't really hit that sexy factor. The only outfit I'd say looks sexy is her final one due to having these boob sock things. And there's kind of an issue with it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but
Nepal.
I swear to God, it looks like they gave her outfit nipples. Or maybe these boob sock things just end in a point. But either way, it's very distracting. And not because it's sexy, but because it looks silly. Even years after I watched this episode, when I think back to it, the first thing that comes to mind is this outfit, and it makes me laugh. Like, how did no one notice this? Did they really think this was going to get people thinking this character is sexy? Hey, so you know when you work on a project and you've written the script, voiced it, edited it, and are putting the final touches on it when you discover something that nearly changes the whole video? Yeah, this is one of those moments. After doing everything I just said, I came across an interview with Vanessa on the channel Traversing the Stars. The interview is really interesting and criminally underwatched, so please do check it out. But anyway, in the interview, Vanessa says there are a number of reasons she didn't come back to SG-1. One of them being that she got pregnant. Now, she didn't directly talk about her being let go because of ratings, and the only reason she confirmed was the pregnancy. The claim that she was let go because of ratings comes from Peter DeLuise, an actor, writer, director, supervising producer, and creative consultant for all the Stargate series. So who can really say the true reason? Maybe it was a combination of the two along with various other factors, but I do have to point out that the ratings claim may or may not be true or the whole truth. And after watching this interview, I can't help but feel I may have been too negative on Anise and too praising of Seven in this video. Vanessa in the interview clearly has some passion about these characters. The mindset she had to get into when playing both Anise and Freya, the kind of duality of playing two characters in one body. Granted, she also has had 20 years to think about this, and she even admitted this fact, saying she would play Anise and Freya differently to how she did back then, and that she would be open to returning to any future Stargate projects. And you know what? Yeah, let's bring her back. I feel like some may interpret what I've been saying about Anise as dislike, and that's not true. I think this character has potential, and Vanessa seems to think so too. It's just hard to root for or get behind a character who is only on screen for like less than 120 minutes. There's a reason I forgot about her in the OG Valentine's Day video. She wasn't around long enough to get to know, and even on fandom's page about Daniel Jackson's relationships, she's not even mentioned. And keep in mind, I've been comparing her with a character who's on screen for multiple seasons and 2 shows. It's kind of an unfair comparison, even if one was inspired by the other. I also wanted to re-comment on something for the sexy bit. I still stand by most of what I said before, which is why I'm only redoing the end here and not the whole video. But in the comments of Omega Ordain's video on Anise, I found people commenting how they thought she is sexy. And again, it made me feel I was being too harsh, and again, I feel what I was talking about may be misunderstood, so let me say it clearly. It's about the presentation and not the actress. I just don't think Anise's outfits look all that sexy. That is not directed at the actress herself. And the thing is that this is just my opinion, and as I've said, there are those who do think she is hot. And I wonder if this may be a generational thing. I am younger than most other Stargate fans I know, so I wonder if when this was on air, Anise's outfits were considered sexy, but given how everything is super sexualized today, maybe she may have lost that. There's definitely a conversation to have there. The final thing I want to comment on is that in the original ending of this video, I was going to talk about how this whole thing was kind of depressing. I went down the road of how corporate meddling led to the creation of this character that they dropped when they didn't bring in the money. However, with Vanessa saying she left due to getting pregnant, I feel that doesn't hold all that well. And she said something about this all being water under the bridge since this was all 20 years ago. I also found out in an interview Dial the Gate did with Joseph Malazzi that the executive who suggested Anise is a huge science fiction fan. And they actually gave him a short scene in which he played an executive who suggested adding a sexy female alien to Wormhole Extreme. I felt that the original ending of this video was making a scene out of something that everyone has moved on from and had a good laugh over. And honestly, that's kind of nice to hear. I feel like we get so many stories out of the media about actors and actresses who were harassed, cheated, or abused in some way. The most impactful one that I heard recently was that the original actor for the Blue Ranger from Power Rangers left the show because he was gay and faced harassment from the higher-ups. So again, it's nice to hear that Vanessa wasn't simply let go because she didn't bring in the ratings, even if it may only be a partial truth. But yeah, this has been the behind the gate info on Anise, Stargate's attempt at a 7 of 9 clone. What do you think about Anise? Do you think she deserved to stay around longer, or do you think she was an unneeded addition to the show? Would you maybe like to see her return one day? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe. Follow me on my social medias. And remember,
You know what I was thinking? You know what this show needs? A sexy female alien.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Marty.